Ahoy there, folks! I'm Captain Benzie, and welcome back to the 4th episode of my Getting Started with Influence. Now, Influence is an MMO space economic simulator game made by Unstoppable Games that I've been having a lot of fun with recently. In previous episodes, we've talked about setting up crews, about getting buildings constructed, and starting to extract some of the materials, and doing things like core samples. Today, we're actually going to finish off an extraction of some water from one of our extractions. We're going to look at a habitat, and we're also going to look at the refinery in slightly more detail. So, without further ado, let's jump right in on this one. So I'm here with my Prospect Alpha crew, and we've got a load of stuff that I just need to kind of tick off the boxes here. You can see I had a load of food sent out to one of my warehouses here. This is just to make sure that my teams, my crews, are always well fed. So that, like now, whereas this crew's down at 61% food, we can start to top that up. We've got an extractor that has finished building that I'm going to clear off the list here and get all that done. And we now have water extraction. You can see the water deposit here has now finally finished. This was an 8-day extraction. Took its good sweet time, but we're there, and it's going to go straight into repository A1001. So we're going to authenticate that transfer and get that all sent across. It's going to take a moment to do this. The server is running a little bit slow today. Again, kind of expect this. This is pre-release state. Lots of things are changing, like I've said before. Really enjoying these new icons. There is talk as well that this whole pop-up and having to authenticate most of your transactions is going to go away very, very soon. It will be a simple case of essentially your wallet pre-authenticates a load of additional transactions so that when you just do them in the game, it just goes, cool, yeah, that's within the wallet allowance. So I guess the real world example of that would be, rather than having money in your bank account, you put money into a pot, and it just means that whenever you swipe your card, you don't need to authenticate it and go through entering your PIN. It just goes bam, straight out of that pot each time. It's not full access to everything, but it's enough to sort of make things a bit more seamless. There we are. The water extraction is now complete. I forget which of these I just sent that to. So let's have a look into the information here going in those ones. I've completely forgotten how I actually look inside that. There are a lot inventory. There we are. So we've got core drills in this one. Was it the other repository? Yes, there it is. There's our water. That is all good to go. So now we can have a look at possibly doing some refining. Access is restricted. It is this crew here. So let's go across to this crew, switch to them, go into the settings here, update permissions, and we are going to add run process allow list. I want to add all of my different crews here. So we're currently on refinery crew. I need to add refinery crew epsilon. Or is it prospect crew epsilon? Oh, there they are. Refinery crew epsilon. What are my other crews? Just this can be done. Prospect Alpha and Refinery crew. Cool. So Prospect crew. Was it Prospect Alpha? Yeah, there we are. We update those. Let's add those in. Now this crew should actually also have access to that repository, so it might be actually a simple case of just going in here and being able to do this directly. So let's go into refine material. So the only thing I know I can do at this point is much further down the list. I've not got all the materials for all these other bits and bobs down here. Right the way down here somewhere, I will find it. I'm looking for the icons, there we are. Water vacuum evaporation desalination. That will turn water into deionized water and raw salts. So that's what we're going for. That's the one I want to do to showcase how this works. 20 kg of water is the minimum. Fortunately, we've got a load there, which we can have straight through. An output inventory, we're going to drop that onto repository A1002. Now, as with before, we've got a slider up here that we can choose how much we're going to get, and that will change how long it takes to do as well. So here you can see processing time, 22 minutes, crew time, 2 hours, 47 minutes, 18 seconds. We're going to talk more about this bit in just a moment. And then we are going to pull this right up. Obviously, again, I need to be careful that I'm not putting so much into the warehouse that it would overload it. Fortunately, it looks like this isn't going to be a problem. So I can do that there. Our crew as well, transport time, output mass, we've got all the details here. I don't think I have any bonuses to refineries on any of my crews at this point. Although let's just check through that, and we'll also see if the other crews can then do these bonuses as well. So I've got my refinery crew there. Oh yeah, refinery crew Epsilon did have some other guys, including the scientists. So let's have a look and see if there's any difference there. Our crew is busy, of course, because I fed them. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that. We are just going to do it with the standard refinery crew. Oh boy. Yeah, it just goes to show I don't plan these videos, but hey, I get to show you how we do this twice in this case. There we are, water vacuum evaporation desalination. We are going to take it out of repository A001101, yeah, that one, into 10002. We're going to put that all the way up on maximum. It's going to take 7 hours, 29 minutes. Full processing time is down here, including travel time, and all of that is up there. So we then just go begin. Obviously, authenticate the process, and we are now going to start refining some materials. Now, I've also got a habitat that has been building, so we're going to tick that off the list as well. Get that all done there, get that constructed, and there is an extractor site here. Yeah, I had some issues with the lock control here, but it's fine, that's my own team there, so we don't need to worry too heavily about that. So this will be the habitat constructing now, which I'll see if I can load in on the pretty graphics of that. Again, my internet's been a bit buggy recently, but we'll have a look. There we are, and the refining is now going, 9 hours, 11 minutes. There we go. That is our habitat. Pretty cool looking, right? And if we look at the details here, we can see recruit crewmates, so we can start new crews down here. We can station crew into these, and we can deconstruct the building. Deconstructing a building basically allows you to break it down and get the parts back, right? But what we're going to do here is start to station crews. So first of all, we're going to do our usual permissions. So going to crews, we've got refinery crew Epsilon, Bravo. This is one of those things that I kind of forget what I've named these crews sometimes. So it's probably better to actually have some proper details and, you know, name effectively so that you are looking, you know, you're able to remember what you're doing. But okay, cool. So let's have a look at update permissions. So currently, recruit crewmates and station crews, our allow list here. Refinery crew. There we go, and refinery crew Epsilon. Add those to the list. It was then prospect Alpha. And my other main crew is Bravo Epsilon November. Bonus points if anyone can figure out how that crew got its name. There we are, let's authenticate those. What this should allow me to do is, at the moment, my crews are based all the way up in places like Wallenbergia and Lucinda's Landing, which is kind of the main hub here on Adalia Prime. It does mean that they are a long way away, basically. And it means that whenever I want to do anything with them, I have long crew transfer times. Now, by stationing them here in this habitat, which is right in the center of all my processes, that should really cut down on all of the transport times. Now, it's not, you know, I would argue this is not one of the most important buildings to have early on. Obviously, I've mentioned in other videos that the warehouse is absolutely, I think, the most important thing to start off with. And if you are looking to then like start on your surface materials and things like that, that actually having a, you know, things like extractors, maybe manufactories and all this kind of thing may go there. Oh, we're busy. Why are we busy? Oh, because you're refining. Refining? That shouldn't require crew to be busy, though. That should be fine without the crew. Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, either way, let's go into station the crew. Now, let's have a look at this thing here. So travel time here, let's station them across. Again, it might say that no, it can't do this because they are currently busy. Yeah, no crew action. Okay, fine. So let's swap to one of our other crews in order to showcase this. Let's go to Bravo Epsilon November. Again, bonus points if in the comment section you can tell me why they are called Bravo Epsilon November. It's pretty easy, right? There we are. So they're currently at Lucinda's Landing. I want to bring them down to the habitat here, which I will rename in a moment as well. Let's get those to transfer down. Let's swap across to Prospect Alpha. And bring them down as well. It just makes sense to eventually kind of get into this so that you do have that ability to have your crews all central, just to reduce that travel time issue with all of them. That said, one of the things to really note, especially if you're looking at some of the tools, or if just you rather than going straight into the building side of things, have a look at how much like one of these costs. The Habitat is not a cheap building by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I think it is probably the most expensive building I've built so far. It is, yeah, well worth noting that is it's an expensive option. So something to kind of look towards in the future, perhaps. Definitely useful to have because it's going to cut down that travel time. But I don't think I would build it too early. It's going to cost you a lot of sway and that to buy all of the materials you need if you can't produce any of them yourself. So I would probably just start off with things like extracting and having your warehouses available to start with. And of course, if you are building fairly close, we got a nice calcite deposit there. We are building nice and close to like somewhere like Lucinda's Landing, your travel time's not too bad. I mean, where we are at the moment, if I scroll out a bit, this is our little base of operations here. If I scroll right the way back, that yellow circle up there is basically Lucinda's Landing is right in the center of that. That's kind of your main hub. So we're not too far out. But having a Habitat here, I think, will just give us that little bit of an edge when it comes to the times on different things going on. So we've got that running. Let's have a look. Are there any other processes I want to get started at this point in time? And crew is busy, of course it is. Again, this is all about like remembering to set your little timers, as I've talked in other videos, and coming back to these at a later date when you need to. But there we go. That is now the Habitat up and running. That is all ready to go. We've got the crews moving towards that. We've got the refinery currently running. And let's actually go into the refinery and have a look at that graphics, because they're quite cool little buildings. I love the animations and that you get on these different buildings in Influence. So we've got the Habitat up and running, and we've got our crews basically moving down to there. We have the refinery currently running. It's going to be turning water into other materials. Here it is. Kind of pretty. I really like that. Very hard sci-fi, all the solar panels and things like that. You can see why this costs a fair amount to build. All the ships and other little bits getting on with the refinery process. Very excited. We'll see what we can do with those materials, even if it's just selling them on the market. Once these are all busy, when they come back onto idle, in like an hour and a half, once they've moved down to here, I will probably come in and start getting some more core samples, getting some more extractions running, things like that. I don't think I want to build too much more just yet. I'm quite happy with what we've got going, but we'll see what happens when that refinery's up and running. Anyway, folks, that is it for today's video. Please do let me know how you're getting on with Influence if you are playing in the pre-release. Again, I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. Subscribe if you want to catch up on what else is going on. If you are on this video for the first one and you're like, oh, okay, how did you reach that point? Do go and check out the other ones as well. Anyway, once again, finally, thank you so much to Unstoppable Games for sponsoring this. I am very open when it comes to me doing sponsored content. I've been approached by lots of companies over the years asking, will I do a sponsored stream or sponsored video? And I always have two rules for that. One, that I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want to say, which means if you're willing to pay me to say, actually, this game's pretty crap, then I will take your money, and I will say that. If you don't want me to say the game's crap, then sorry, you don't get to, I'm not going to follow someone else's script, is the point I'm getting to there. Beyond that as well, it is something usually that I do have to believe in and enjoy myself. And I was making content for Influence before the team reached out and offered payment for it. So if you're thinking, oh, Benzi's, suddenly sold his soul to the devil in this game that I don't like the look of, it's fine. If you don't like the look of it, that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to try and sway you. I'm here to show you that I'm having fun, and here's how you could too if this looks interesting to you. If it doesn't, that's absolutely fine. But I would love to talk to you guys about this. So come join me on Discord, see what you think of Influence. If you are enjoying it, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what kind of crazy adventures you've been getting up to. I've already heard of some people who've come in straight on marketeering. Just a team of 5 merchants buying and selling stuff on the markets to make profit that way. I've seen people now collaborating together where some people are doing the extractions and then handing it off to the marketeers for profiteering and all that kind of thing there. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on in Influence already, and I'm excited to see where this game goes. So if you're interested to see where this goes as well, and you want to follow me on this journey, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you all next time. Happy sailing, folks, and see you in Adalia!